Trax is sponsored by Can-Am. We're built for this. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation. And by Yamaha, conquer outdoors.
I love riding in West Virginia. It's no surprise. We tell you guys all the time how much we love being there and we love the people. And I had been down in the southern US riding, and as I was coming back through a couple of different states, we were invited to come and ride in Mercer County again, which is kind of the Bluefield area of West Virginia. We stayed at a place called the Mud Pit, or Pocahontas Outfitters. They're kind of known as both. And Brian and Donna, the owners of this place, are honestly the salt of the earth, nicest people I have ever ridden ATVs with. These people are so genuine, and they're just, I can't say enough good things about them. And if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
We try to service every aspect. We have cabins, we have RV sites, we have a garage, we have a convenience store with fuel. So we try to cover everything that they need when they come here. We try to be a one-stop shop.
Well, we were very fortunate. This land has been in his family for over 70 years. His grandfather actually built the house that we live in. The ATV started picking up in our area, and we just kind of figured God put us in the right place at the right time.
The thing that blows my mind is 1,500 people lived in these hills in what, the
From about 1940 up to 58.
To tell yourself that there was never anybody up there ever,
Yeah.
But there was 1,500 people living up there with houses.
If you didn't know, you wouldn't find them.
The last time I rode in Mercer County, I rode with the folks from the tourism board there, and it was Jamie and Erica who were along with us again this year. We knew that we were going to be in for a great day, and what we wanted to do was have Brian take us out and show us the history of the area, because I find that so interesting. The Wolverine with the full cab works pretty good. You got the windshield wiper. I kind of feel like I'm in a pickup truck. The weather had cleared up and the rain had kind of just become a bit of a drizzle. We were like, hey, you know, we're not made out of sugar. Let's go have some fun, and we're probably going to get muddy today.
Mercer County CVB is an awesome organization for our tourism industry, and especially for the ATV and the Hatfield-McCoy trail system, because they do get it. They do see the potential that's here, and they do realize the boost that it has to our economy.
I realized right away, especially being with Donna, who is just absolutely crazy about mud. This lady loves getting dirty.
Some of us play harder than others. We like to ride. My wife is very aggressive.
He's laid back and easygoing, and I'm kind of high-strung, and you know, I'm the one that likes to play in the mud and do the things you're really not supposed to do at our age, and he's the one that puts all the pieces back together.
So Brian's family lived in these hills. I'm talking like housing structures, general stores, I mean, like the whole bit, schoolhouses, coal mines, lumber yards, like the whole bit. Everybody lived up there. This was an actual happening place. This is from the front yard.
Yeah.
Of the front yard of your great uncle's house.
Robert Horton.
Right here.
Yeah.
And these are the plants that he planted in his front yard, and they're not native to be out here.
There's some more.
And there's
right
more
here.
back over here.
You didn't even notice this foundation to the house.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So there's a big notch out of the side of the hill.
Yeah.
And you wonder why there's a big notch here. And that's because there was a house, and there's still the plants growing on either side.
Yeah.
And down over there too, and they've just kind of spread out and done their thing. I mean, when you're riding ATVs and side-by-sides out here, you don't ever take a second to stop and think that there would have been people living in these hills. Like, you just wouldn't think. And then when you hear that there was 1,500 people living up here, the first thought is not a chance. Couldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Then you come up and you see somebody probably took weeks to dig a cistern out there.
Oh, yeah.
And cement it in, and that's their drinking water.
Well,
it still stands.
Back in the day, when they done stuff like that, it's not like now.
Yeah.
The neighbors would come and help.
Everybody would help.
Yeah, everybody helped everybody.
You put a house up, everybody comes and helps because you're expected to do the same for them.
Exactly.
It really started to come together for me, you know, just this weird sense of, man, this was a happening spot, you know, 50, 70 years ago. There was a lot of stuff going on out here. Somebody had a house here. They took the time to build a cistern and a foundation. And I mean, we even found an old steel band and the hinges and everything from one of his trunks that he probably would have kept, you know, his clothes or, you can't believe it. If you go to the Mud Pit, talk to Brian and Donna, ask them about this. They'll tell you where to go to have a look. And I think you'll be just as blown away as I was.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Princess Auto, a unique world of equipment, tools, and more. Closed captioning of Dirt Trax is sponsored by MBRP Power Sports, race-inspired performance.
After Brian had given us some of the history and showed us his uncle's, you know, foundation of his house and the schoolhouse and all this good stuff, we wanted to go out for a good ride. And Brian had Jamie with him, and then Erica and Donna were riding together. And I could see this sparkle in Donna's eye, like she was ready. The rain had kind of held back a little bit, you know, it stopped, and it was very greasy out.
When I grew up here, coal was it. That was when it left here. There's a lot of people left here and a lot of jobs left here and left us with a lot of abandoned businesses, which you ride through the country, you can see it. Now that the tourism, with the ATVs, Hatfield-McCoy trails, there's a lot of people who come in here. We see people from all over.
You have, as a state and as an economy, been focused on one source of revenue really for as long as West Virginia has. It's very difficult when you lose that, and you don't really have anything to replace it with. We've been here since 2014, and without Hatfield and McCoy, we absolutely wouldn't have had the opportunity to be able to build our own business and to build the relationships that we have got to build.
Again, Donna and Brian sort of had this little conversation, and it was funny because Donna explained it to me. She said, I don't have to ask him for permission. I have to ask him that if I break this, is it okay and will you fix it? And Donna was just ready to get muddy. So Erica's strapped in, and Donna comes in. I mean, she is WOT. It's wide open throttle.
I've had my share of mud.
Yeah.
So she has hers where she can play in the mud. I don't have to get in it.
There's no shortage. I haven't seen, I mean, it's like a kid in a candy store. She gets excited about being in the mud.
Just be free. It's almost like you're free for the first time. And yesterday was absolutely one of the most wonderful days of my life, aside from my wedding and my children being born. I'd put yesterday right there at the top of the list, so.
We kind of called it quits a little bit early, decided to head back to the Mud Pit, you know, get something to eat, get cleaned up, washed up, have a hot shower, and tidy up. But I'll tell you, at the end of the day, I had one of the most memorable experiences at Hatfield-McCoy, and probably the most memorable experience riding ATVs and side-by-sides since I've started doing this for Dirt Trax about 10 years ago. And I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the Mud Pit, hang out with Brian and Donna, because those people are salt of the earth, the most genuine, just real enthusiasts. And when you go there, you're gonna feel like part of the family. While in Mercer County, we wanted to go see Lake Shawnee, which is an old amusement park from, I think it was back in the 20s. What comes of this is that people believe that the amusement park is haunted because of this Indian burial ground that was disturbed and all these different things, and it's turned out to be a pretty big deal. Tell us about the history of the swing, because this is probably this is the #1 structure that's still standing.
Right, yeah. People, the swing was put in the 30s.
Okay.
So the little girl passed away that was riding it in the 40s. And the story with her is she was on the other side over there, And that's where the swing was set up, was over on the other side of the pond.
Okay, on the other side.
Okay, and the concession stand was real close to it. So after the soda delivery truck had delivered soda to the concession stand, it backed up into the path of the swing. Little girl come around, hit the back of the truck, and it killed her.
So it was a bad day.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I like the history of it more than anything. I like the burial ground information and all the stuff that was found. I mean, the fella who runs this and owns the property, he's got just all of these really cool poster boards and you know, like behind glass arrowheads and teeth and different things that they found from all kinds of different stuff, bowls and, you know, cutting tools and crazy stuff. He's got all of this information, and then he's got the history of Lake Shawnee when it was an amusement park and when it was a happening spot.
Mitchell Clay was the first settler of Mercer County. He settled on this property. His house was right over here next to the lake. And one day his daughters was at the river washing clothes. 2 sons was out in the field taking care of the crop. And the Shawnee Indians came back and they attacked and killed Bartley and Tabitha here. Whenever they was attacking Bartley and Ezekiel, Tabitha seen that, and being the older daughter, she came over to help defend them. And whenever she did, that's when they killed her. So then they took Ezekiel back to Ohio and they burned him at the stakes.
It's an interesting spot, and it's something that's very unique. But you know, we wanted to see what it was all about.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Shock Strap. Start strapped, stay strapped.
The Dirt Trax Nation knows that we're truck people. We use them a lot and we expect a lot out of them, and using a DiamondBack is one way to max out our capabilities. It's like Fort Knox, taking a vault with you everywhere that you go. But up until now, the HD series has stayed pretty much the same. While the base shape stays the same, the stuff that makes it work has been updated and designed for ease of install, ease of use, and long-term durability, because a DiamondBack cover comes with a lifetime warranty. Our new 3500 series GMC Duramax has an 8-foot box on it, and we spec'd it out that way because we knew the first accessory that we'd put on was a DiamondBack cover capable of carrying 2 ATVs. And the finish that we like the best is the super durable black bedliner type coating. Looks great, stands up to incredible abuse, offers greater traction, and well, it just looks super good on a truck. Up till now, the hinges on the black covers have always been stainless steel and pretty large. They work really well, but the engineering team at DiamondBack found a better way to hinge the front and rear panels that not only looks cleaner, but also reduces the size of the hinge and makes for a simpler install without the timing tab you previously had to line up when installing. Not to mention, they're a stronger and more durable design. The black hinges match really well with the black textured coating, and they tie in seamlessly, as do the new nylon tie-down cleats. They look like boat cleats, and that's because they are. Offering 1,200 pounds of tensile strength per cleat, these things are proven to keep a boat secure while waves bash it against the dock, so it's going to hold your ATV or side-by-side no problem as you drive. And on our HD 8-foot-long cover, we have 12 of these things, making it super easy to tie down 2 ATVs sideways or 1 side-by-side, all while staying safe and, most importantly, legal, while hauling up to 1,600 pounds topside. DiamondBack truck covers are built in the USA, and they're made for real securement and real security. So when they say they're like Fort Knox, they mean it. The dual deadbolt style locking mechanisms are similar to a gun safe. The huge die-cast zinc lock handles manipulate 3/8-inch rods that extend under your bed's top rolled lip. This means you're not getting in there if you don't have a key, and you'd be better off trying to tear through the tailgate than try to cut through this aluminum vault. The 7 structural studs that reinforce the top sheet, along with the stainless steel hinges and hardware, are guaranteed for life and tip the scales at 115 total pounds. This isn't some offshore-made composite cover you might be able to walk on. This is a DiamondBack HD that'll hold 1,600 pounds. Now, keeping your stuff safe is important, but in my opinion, of equal importance is keeping your stuff dry inside the box of your truck. And we can attest to the fact that these covers keep stuff dry, as we've been running DiamondBacks for almost a decade. The use of a beefy neoprene perimeter gasket and gutters built into the center panel where the hinges are, along with the stainless hardware and lock cylinders that point rearwards, means your gear is gonna not just be safe, but dry, even when you're cruising at 80 in a rainstorm. And trust me, I've done it countless times. Telling you all of these great features isn't just me reading a brochure. It comes from firsthand experience installing and, more importantly, using our DiamondBack covers for hundreds of thousands of miles driving all across the North American continent. And it's still the only cover that we stand by. We're DiamondBack ready. Are you?
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Argo. Go anywhere.
As Polaris continues to push the envelope with sports side-by-side design and technology, it can be easy to forget about where it all began. It seems like such a long time ago that the first 50-inch RZR 800 was unveiled and changed the side-by-side industry forever, but it wasn't. It also seems like maybe the original RZR concept would have become obsolete by now, but it isn't. The RZR 900 really is the closest thing you can get to that original 800 RZR from back in 2008. And while the vehicle itself is completely different, the concept has remained largely unchanged. And sales remain very strong, proving the 50-inch sport side-by-side concept had longer legs than I think anyone anticipated. But after 10 years, just how far has Polaris evolved the 50-inch RZR? Obviously, there aren't any parts that remain from the original RZR here on this 2018 RZR 900. It's all brand new, and it all results in a vehicle that's more capable, more comfortable, more durable, and more fun than we ever thought possible way back then. The 875cc dual overhead cam twin produces 75 horsepower, which isn't earth-shattering, but in all reality is more than enough to make this vehicle feel fun and playful. In this segment, 75 horsepower is definitely competitive, and in this vehicle it actually feels like more because, from a power to weight perspective, the 50-inch RZR 900 is actually lighter than the 60-inch RZR S. 50-inch side-by-sides have a huge advantage over their wider brethren in many areas. One they don't, though, is in the suspension department. Shorter A-arms inevitably result in a decrease in wheel travel and often a stiffer feeling ride overall. The 50-inch RZR still has 10 inches of front and rear wheel travel, which is nothing to be ashamed of, and it still rides pretty plush. It's just not quite as good as the 60-inch S model. One area the new generation of 50-inch RZRs has progressed in leaps and bounds beyond that original 800 is handling, and a lot of this improvement is thanks to power steering, which is an optional upgrade over the most base-level 900. This RZR is actually surprisingly stable at higher speeds and can be railed through the twisties with confidence, even without power steering. With that said, power steering definitely makes steering effort lighter and erases any harsh feedback the rider might get through the steering wheel. The only criticism here is that the speed sensitivity of the power steering isn't sensitive enough. As speeds rise, the power assist remains too high. It needs to drop at a faster rate. But this really is the only gripe we have with the handling of the RZR 900. Our shootout from last season proved it's a stellar handling side-by-side. The interior of the RZR 900 is exactly the same as the S model, but worlds different than the original 800. Seats are more comfortable and are reclined further back for a more sporty feel. The dash looks more refined and has more features. Overall fit and finish is way improved. One thing that hasn't changed, though, is the passenger grab handle. And this is good because we think it's among the best in the industry. It's an incredibly simple design, but it just works, and we hope Polaris never changes it. Most of the larger 1000 and 1000 turbo RZRs have received upgraded drivetrains over the past few seasons. The smaller RZRs, though, retain the same drivetrain they've used for the past few years. And in the 50 and 60-inch classes, it works fine and is more than durable enough. Polaris's shiftable 4x4 system works exactly as it always has. It's dependable and tough, though it would be nice to have the quicker front diff locking feature of the newer systems, but that's really our only gripe. This 50-inch 900 sits pretty much at the bottom of Polaris's RZR lineup. The only thing below it is the 570, and it's in a completely different class. As the vehicle on the lowest end of the totem pole with the lowest price, you have to expect a few missing features or downgraded components versus the higher level but more expensive models. In the case of the RZR 900, the biggest downgrade is the shocks. There's nothing wrong with how they actually work, but they are only preload adjustable and won't give you the best ride in that wide range of scenarios the higher end units from Fox or Walker Evans will. Really though, there aren't any other glaring downgrades from, say, a RZR 900S, except for the price, which is something nobody's going to complain about. Has the 2018 RZR 900 come a long way from the original 800? Yeah, absolutely. This is a vastly improved vehicle. Is it drastically different than the old RZR? Yes and no. In terms of build quality and performance, it definitely is. But when it comes to real-world capability, they still go the same places and do the same things. If you're out shopping for a new sports side-by-side, should you consider the 50-inch RZR 900? If having a 50-inch side-by-side is important to you, you're darn straight you should. This is one capable, durable, and fun vehicle. And honestly, we've had a hard time coming up with anything we don't like about it.
Dirt Trax Television has been sponsored by Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation. Can-Am, we're built for this. And by Textron Off-Road, power, performance, and precision engineering.
Thanks for watching this Dirt Trax segment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button where you can watch pretty much anything related to ATV and side-by-sides.